Just one thing, the one thing that is so important to Chelsea, the thing that they dread so much, and their nemesis looks them right in the face tomorrow in the game against Everton. Can Chelsea get one important win? I really do think that Everton is the team that's going to turn Chelsea season around. I think that's a good impact that lots of the things are going to change, and I'm going to talk you right into it. The experienced Thomas Tuchel had issues going to Goodison Park. Chelsea doesn't have a good record going to Goodison Park. But this time, it is as clear as day that Chelsea are going to get a result at Goodison Park. And I'm going to analyze for you why I am 100% sure that Chelsea are going to get a result at Goodison Park. It's time for me to see you again. I'm grateful that I get to see you again. I'm glad I'm here for you again here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If you've not subscribed to the channel, you should subscribe now. If you've not turned on notification, do all to turn on notification now. We give you the best of footballing analysis here. Let's get straight into it. So let us start by looking through what Mauricio Pochettino said in his pre-match press conference yesterday at Cobham. He had said a lot of things, a couple of things that I disagree with him. He was asked about the new topic that's beginning to spring up amongst the various Chelsea faithfuls. He was asked about Enzo Fernandez and Moise Caicedo and why their partnership doesn't seem to have caught fire as it stands now. It is simple. The reason why Enzo Fernandez and Moise Caicedo, we aren't seeing the best of them. I don't think there's the best of Enzo Fernandez. There's not even the best of Moise Caicedo. It's simple. And the reason is simple. Chelsea play highly transitional. Chelsea use a lot of the balls on transition. They play at 100 meters per hour. No patience to break down teams. They chase games. They are quick because they use the aggression and then the tempo that is set by Conor Gallagher's aggression and then intensity. It tends to worry the team in terms of the attacking phase and then breaking down teams. But then on the other side, in terms of games where Chelsea are chasing the game, it helps a lot for them to win the ball, play forward, and then create transitional threat against the opponent. It's going to be a different game against Everton. But then really, how is that game going to shape up? We'll get onto the tactical board. We'll do the tactical analysis for you. But just before we get into that, it's an important game and Chelsea need to get all 3 points. A lot of the teams beneath Chelsea are beginning to get a result, and it is time for them to start getting some consistency in the results that they play in. But we've said it several times that Chelsea struggle to play against teams that sit in a low block, right? So if Chelsea are playing against teams that sit in a low block, you know that it's going to be a little bit tough for them to play against them. But there's a reason why Everton is an outlier in that conversation. Yes, Sean Dyche is one of the managers that his teams are well drilled defensively. It's very difficult for you to break them down. They are very good from set pieces, very compact in central areas. They allow you to have the ball from the wide area, and then they prevent you from cutting through them centrally. But there's a reason why Chelsea can get this job done, and I'll tell you why. It is the singular factor with which Chelsea can beat Everton tomorrow at the Goodison Park. It's going to be a tough game. Let nobody fool you. It is really going to be a difficult game for Chelsea. But they can get a job done. They can see it through because of the various reasons as it stands like this in there for Chelsea Football Club. And then we'll talk about all of that, all the analysis in there for Chelsea Football Club over there. But let's get straight to it. So Chelsea have struggled against the low block sides. It has happened against Nottingham Forest, to some extent, Fulham, when Fulham sat in deep, to some games where Chelsea played in that game against West Ham United. It was a little bit difficult. And that's the thing. The bigger question is that in Chelsea's 3-2-5 shape, when they are trying to break down low block sides, sometimes the game is just too transitional. You don't get the best out of Enzo Fernandez. And here is it. Enzo Fernandez at Sporting Lisbon in his last 2 clubs have played more passes forward than he has played at Chelsea Football Club. It has reduced drastically the number of passes that he has played forward. And it is just because at Chelsea, the game is played faster than it was at not Lisbon, at Benfica. The reason is simple. At Benfica, they wanted to take their time to get the best out of Enzo Fernandez. At Chelsea, in fact, at least as it stands now, Chelsea's way of play hinges on Conor Gallagher instead of Moise Caicedo or Enzo Fernandez. I think that this will change when Romeo Lavia comes in. That's in the last video. I did mention to you that Romeo Lavia is going to be the game changer in that game that we keep on playing. He's going to come in and then dictate the pace of the game in central areas. He's an excellent deep line playmaker. He's able to receive the ball across all parts of the field of play and it dictates the pace of the game. He's an exceptionally intriguing player in that regard. Once he comes in, then you can play Enzo and Moise Caicedo in a starting 11 as two attacking number 8. Caicedo more as a box-to-box midfielder, and then Enzo will help Lavia in the first phase in terms of ball progression when he does that, so that then Chelsea can be patient in playing forward, and then that midfield dynamics will come together. But then having this Enzo, Moise Caicedo, it means that the creative fulcrum of the game essentially is hinged on Conor Gallagher, who does that essentially by using a lot of aggression, a lot of transition, winning the ball very high up, and then playing forward and helping the press. This doesn't mean that Conor Gallagher is a bad player, but it just affects the team in a different direction, in a different way. And it's just something that Mauricio Pochettino would have to look at going forward. I think that build-up against Manchester United was the most shambolic build-up I've seen Chelsea do. And you see, it's funny because this is a team that has played against Manchester City, against Arsenal, against Liverpool, against Tottenham Hotspur. These are the teams that are considered some of the best in the league this season. So how do Chelsea struggle against Manchester United when really they found ways to play through these top teams in the English Premier League? It is just because they were jittery, and on the day Manchester United's press was one of the best that you could see. I have a big issue about Robert Sanchez. I don't think that he has a future at the club, and there's a lot more for him to do. But see, the first thing Mauricio Pochettino has to do in a bid to beat Everton is to return Benoit Badiashile into the starting lineup. I'll tell you why. Calm down. Don't rush it. If you've not subscribed to the channel, do so. Pause the video, subscribe now, and then turn on notification. Benoit Badiashile is a kind of guy that affects and infects, that effect takes it a notch higher in terms of our build-up play from the back. He does it so well. If Chelsea are able to have the ball from behind and then they want to play forward, Benoit Badiashile is the kind of guy that takes it to the next level. He's excellent at left center back row. There is no need for Mauricio Pochettino to play two right-footed center backs still. A lot of the times, these players would have to shift and turn onto their various paths before they can play forward, pass forward to get their angles. It doesn't help Chelsea when they want to build up. It is easy for teams to close them down. You go back and watch the Manchester United game. Anytime Thiago Silva received the ball from the left-hand channel, he was closed down aggressively by his countryman Alejandro Garnacho. It's as simple as that. He constantly closing down because he knows that he's not a natural left footer, and that's the part of his game where he can press him. And Man United did that brilliantly well. I'm beginning to think that teams like Everton will be using Dominic Calvert-Lewin to do that job in there, and Chelsea needs to be very careful. One of the two, either of Thiago Silva, Axel Disasi, has to be dropped. If you want height in terms of defending set pieces, then it means that Thiago Silva has to go out of it. If you want defensive organization at the back, then Thiago Silva has to be in the team for Axel Disasi to go out. I know that Mauricio Pochettino will still play Romeo Lavia in that hand side. I had a little, not Romeo Lavia, Levi Cole. I had a little problem with Levi Cole and Benoit Badiashile on the left hand side. In terms of communication, in terms of being telepathic enough to know who stays and who gets into these zones to block balls down in that game against Brighton and Hove Albion, they just need to check it. It's a game where when Chelsea are playing and you have both left-footed centre backs, communication has to be top-notch, else you're going to be in trouble. And they just have to check that. If they're able to check that, that's going to be splendid. And then you can have that tool in that zones in there for them. Now, once you're able to play that, I think Benoit is important in terms of defending set pieces, reading the game, stepping into midfield, being aggressive, preventing teams from pressing, because he's an excellent passer of the ball from the first phase into the second phase in there. And everything that he does seems to get Chelsea exactly what they need. And Chelsea would have to get Benoit Badiashile back into the team. Unless he's injured, he needs to be part of the starting 11 tomorrow at the Goddison Park to give Chelsea any chance at that. With James possibly be starting this game, he's captain of the side. Chelsea would expect more from him this time. He hasn't been sharp. He was overloaded in that game against Manchester United. I'm thinking that Everton would want to do the same. They would want to overload with James. They'll put pressure on him. They'll pack a lot of men over him. They know that once they do, because Chelsea don't have wingers that fall back to come and help the fullback, it tends to put pressure on James. This thing has happened to Mark Akra before, and I did mention that it wasn't because Mark Akra was essentially just a very bad player. It was because he wasn't getting the support from his wingers. and resilience was put to the sword at Manchester United. Chelsea needs to do a very good job, an excellent job at supporting him so that he can do a lot of the attacking runs, overlapping and underlapping. It is integral that Chelsea gets this thing done. It's very important. Now, you remember that game that Chelsea played against Fulham. Fulham played at home. Fulham essentially is known as a low block side where Marco Silva sometimes will sit very deep. But they do not sit deep in a low block. They'll sit in a mid block and they will vary it. Now, when they vary it, it is in this variation that I think that Everton are also going to play. If you watch the game against Newcastle, they were more transitional. They followed Everton around. They chased them. They will sit in a mid block this time. They will come and press sometimes. You know that Chelsea can make some mistakes at the back and they're not too comfortable on the ball. Once they'll be doing all of these things, the plan is that this will open up the game. When it does, it's the various pressing traps that Chelsea will set for Everton that will open up the game for them, from Conor Gallagher, for Cole Palmer when it comes inverted and the game opens up and he uses body orientation to win the ball and then plays forward. It's an integral part of the game that's going to happen tomorrow, because that's exactly how Everton are going to play. But they're going to hinge a chunk of their scoring in their set pieces and then when they turn the ball over essentially. It's the reason why Enzo has to be turned on 100% on the ball and doesn't have to lose balls, and same for Moise Caicedo. Because if they do, Everton are going to pour forward in their numbers using Abdullah Decore and the likes, pour forward, and then effects the change in central areas, try to set up the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and get goals in there. Mind you, Everton is the most difficult team. It's the most annoying team to play against when you are down by a goal to 0. Chelsea already doesn't have a very good record going to the Goddison Park. It dates as far back as 2015 when Antonio Conte won the English Premier League. So Chelsea needs to be very, very careful. But these are the things that they need to do. It is also time, finally, for Armando Broja to get into the team. I saw Armando Broja against Fulham. He was exceptionally leading Chelsea's press. He got that all-important goal via his press. He sniffs danger. He's an outlet. He holds up play beautifully. He's a player that Chelsea can count on going into this game against Everton. You get Lavia, you make sure that you're playing your two center backs and they're in tandem. In the middle of the park, there's a lot of telepathy. Then you push Armando Broja in there. The spaces are going to open. He's a man to open it up, and then you're going to get a box presence. You play against Everton, you need box presence. You want people to put Keane and the likes on their toes. Then you need Armando Broja in there to get a job done. These are the things. These are the things, are the ways, are the tactical, 4 specific tactical ways where Chelsea can beat Everton at the Goddison Park. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I'm grateful for your time. Thank you. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you should turn on notification too. I'll see you. Bye.